Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Belk, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the Dean of Students here at GW Law School. And I also have the pleasure of welcoming you all to the 2026 Academic Awards celebration. Today is an absolutely wonderful day in the life of the law school because we get the chance to present some of our finest students with recognition for their hard and amazing work over the last 3 or 4 years for our evenings folks. Just so you know, this celebration is being recorded, and so we ask that you please silence your cell phones, and if you must take a call or you have to soothe a baby, perhaps, if we respectfully ask that you step outside to do that. In today's program, you're going to find faculty and deans who will be reading the accomplishments and names of each of the winning students from the podium. But this is what's exciting to me. The students don't know what awards they're getting, so it's all a big secret. And so they'll hopefully figure it out when they're described. So students, when your name is called, if you could just come forward and receive your award and stand at the center stage where you will take a photo with the dean, and you're going to be contacted by the law school later at your email address, and photos will be available there. Although I know your families and friends are going to take photos anyway, so that's fine. I mean, that's why y'all are here, so it's okay. On the back of your program, you're going to find a QR code. So this QR code is going to take you to the GW Law Academic Awards website, where you're going to find a digital version of this. After the ceremony later on today, we're going to update it with all of the winners in it. Okay, so with all of those logistics out of the way, it is now my great honor to introduce Dr. Dana Bowen Matthew, the Harold H. Green Professor of Law and Dean of George Washington University Law School. So Dean Matthew joined GW Law in August of 2020 and is the first woman to lead the law school in the law school's 160-year history. Since joining GW Law, Dean Matthew has overseen transformative regrowth in the law faculty and has overseen the establishment and launch of 12 new legal clinics, a new health law and policy program, and the new Bernard Center for Law and Technology. A leader in public health and civil rights, Dean Matthew is the author of 2 best-selling books. The first, Just Medicine, A Cure for Racial Inequality in American Healthcare, and Just Health, Treating Structural Racism to Heal America. She's also the co-author of a casebook on public health law, ethics, and policy. This could be a very lengthy introduction, but she always makes us keep us short because she wants us to be about you and not her. So we are just so fortunate to have here at the helm of the law school. And so folks, please join me in welcoming Dean Matthew.
Good afternoon. Well, welcome. There are a few days in the life of a law school that remind you of exactly why you chose the work that you do. And those of us who are faculty and administrators here, this is one of those days. In fact, this is the high holy day. We are so proud that today we will present 35 awards to 47 remarkable students. Now, 3 of those students were just too simply accomplished to be recognized just once, and those of you who know them will know, and it will come as no surprise that their names are going to be called multiple times. These awards span 5 categories: clinical excellence, excellence in clinical practice, distinguished accomplishment, excellence in a general field of study, excellence in oral advocacy, and overall excellence. Together, they capture the full and beautiful range of what it means to thrive at this law school, from the clinic to the courtroom, from the seminar room to the competition stage, and yes, out into the real world. But what they really represent is something much bigger: a group of people who chose to develop their gifts in service of something larger than themselves. Because that is what lawyers do when we do our best. We stand between people and injustice. We give voice to the voiceless. We walk into the hardest rooms and refuse to leave until something is made right. The students we honor today have already shown us in the work that they've done right here that they are ready for this noble calling. To the families in the room, you are part of this too. In fact, none of it could possibly have happened without you. Every sacrifice you made, every word of encouragement, every prayer you sent up, every moment of steadfast belief is woven into every award that is being given today. We all thank you along with your students, from the bottom of our hearts. To the wonderful benefactors, those whose generosity and vision made this celebration possible, you're investing not just in students, not just in the people that they will fight for, but for the nation, this nation, and so many that need the law, that need the rule of law, that need justice, and the words emblazoned over the Supreme Court, equal justice for all, to mean just that. That ripple goes further than you know. And to our graduates, the world is waiting for you, and honestly, the world needs you. Go and do extraordinary things. It's now my great pleasure to introduce distinguished professorial lecturer in law and director of our immigration clinic to give the first award, Professor Paulina Vera.
Our first clinical award this afternoon is given to a member of the graduating class who has demonstrated extraordinary ability in the immigration clinic and who also possesses the personal qualities that distinguish Manuel and Ana Maria Benitez, both of whom were immigrants, including initiative, creativity, zeal, loyalty, and integrity. I add that this award was named after the parents of my predecessor and mentor, Professor Alberto Benitez, who just concluded 29 years of teaching at GW Law and also possesses the characteristics of his late parents. This year's Benitez Award winner has never shied away from a challenge. In fact, she volunteered so much during her 2 semesters in the clinic that I once had to ask her if she could give the opportunity to one of her colleagues instead. She volunteered to take on an asylum hearing scheduled for the second week of the fall semester and began her work on the case over the summer before the semester officially started. While unfortunately we did not get the result we wanted in that case, it did not surprise me that she stayed on weeks past the end of the spring semester to finalize and file the notice of appeal in that case. In addition to her casework, this year's award winner, inspired by the inefficiencies and inequities she saw in our immigration system, helped write 2 public comments for proposed federal regulations. In her final reflection paper, this year's award winner wrote, "I am most proud of my ability to adapt and remain flexible in the face of various challenges." I, too, am proud of this year's award winner, as her initiative and zeal embody the core of the Benitez Award. The winner of the 2026 Manuel and Ana Maria Benitez Award for Clinical Excellence in Immigration Law is Alexandra Vardino-Yanis. I will now pass over the presentation to Dean Carmia Caesar, Director of the Jacob Burns Community Legal Clinics.
This year's Community Legal Clinics Volunteer Service Award is awarded to 2 students. Our first awardee was a student in the Health Justice Policy Advocacy Clinic who engaged in both direct client representation and policy advocacy work. As a student attorney, she provided client-centered representation to an elderly housing choice voucher tenant who was being exposed to substandard housing conditions and facing eviction. She successfully filed and argued a claim with the Office of Administrative Hearings, initiated and resolved matters through the Office of the Attorney General, and demonstrated outstanding skill in negotiation, litigation, strategy, and settlement drafting, ultimately securing over $10,000 in combined relief and ensuring DC Housing Authority compliance with language access laws. In her leadership role as student director, she dedicates substantial time each week to strengthening the clinic's community through student advising, programming, and operational support. Her work reflects an extraordinary commitment to justice, equity, and service, embodying the highest ideals of the Jacob Burns community legal clinics. The first Community Legal Clinics Volunteer Services Award goes to Julia Scolapio Baselli. Our second Community Legal Clinics Volunteer Services Award goes to a student in the Small Business and Community Economic Development Clinic for his exceptional representation in the clinic. From the outset, he demonstrated strong leadership, thoughtful problem solving, and steady client-centered approach, and his steady client-centered approach enabled him to navigate complex, time-sensitive matters with professionalism and care. The recipient's work reflects maturity, integrity, and a deep commitment to effective advocacy. The second Community Legal Clinics Volunteer Services Award goes to Andrew Wheelwright. I will now pass over the presentation to Ashley Carter, Visiting Associate Professor of Clinical Law and Director of the Criminal Appeals and Post-Conviction Services Clinic.
Our next award is sponsored by the Clinical Legal Education Association to honor a student or students who, in the judgment of the faculty, has excelled above others in a clinical course. This student was an outstanding participant in the Criminal Appeals and Post-Conviction Services Clinic, consistently demonstrating excellence across every dimension of her clinical work. Across 2 semesters, this student modeled the qualities that this award seeks to recognize: excellence in casework, excellence in seminar engagement, and meaningful contributions to the clinical community. The recipient is thoughtful, hardworking, and deeply committed to her clients. The faculty cannot think of a more deserving recipient of the CLIA Outstanding Clinical Student Award than Elone Mengistu. The Richard C. Lewis Award is presented to members of the graduating Juris Doctor class who exhibited extraordinary dedication to his or her work in the legal clinics and unusual compassion and humanity towards clients and colleagues. As a student in the Intellectual Property and Trademark Clinic, the first Lewis awardee eagerly took on new projects, even in areas outside of his technical expertise. In client interactions, he consistently acted with professionalism, enthusiasm, honesty, and kindness that brought clients comfort and confidence in how their matter was being handled. His legal and strategic instincts for patent drafting and prosecution were spot on, allowing him to act independently to anticipate tasks that would be needed. His interactions with faculty, other students, and staff were always direct and insightful, but also conveyed with positivity and good humor. For his dedication and high-quality work, we award the Richard C. Lewis Memorial Award to Zhu Wang. Zhu could not be here with us today, but we will ensure that he receives his award. The second Lewis Award winner came to the Criminal Appeals Clinic without extensive background in either criminal law or appellate advocacy. However, she came in with an open mind and a willingness to learn. the recipient quickly exhibited incredible compassion towards her client and dedicated herself to writing a powerful appellate brief on his behalf, arguing that he should have received a sentence reduction based on his rehabilitation efforts. For her work in the Criminal Appeals and Post-Conviction Services Clinic, which illustrated the qualities honored by the Richard C. Lewis Memorial Award, this award goes to Melanie Leon. Due to the impressive work of the clinic students this year, we had a three-way tie for the Lewis Award. The final awardee is a student who was enrolled in the Civil Access to Justice Environmental Justice Division. This student, who plans to enter the renewable energy sector as a transactional attorney, worked throughout the semester to identify solutions to environmental threats and ensure that discussions around community need and environmental impact were nuanced and creative. She dedicated significant time to asking questions about community perspectives, how nonprofits make decisions, and the impact legal strategies can have on a person's everyday life. For her efforts throughout the semester, which evidenced her extraordinary thoughtfulness and compassion, the Richard C. Lewis Memorial Award goes to Rithika Rajendran.
Abdul, one more picture.
I now welcome back to the podium Dean Caesar.
Our final award in the clinic category is a very special award. Only in its second year, the Susan Jones Memorial Social Entrepreneur and Community Empowerment Award. Professor Susan Jones was GW Law Clinic's program's longest-serving faculty member. She passed away in 2024. This award, established in her honor, is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who exemplifies Professor Jones's values of community empowerment, financial literacy, and social entrepreneurism. The recipient was chosen in recognition of her outstanding service to clients in the Small Business Community Economic Development Clinic. The awardee distinguishes herself as a conscientious and careful client advocate, consistently exhibiting patience and compassion. Throughout her time in the clinic, the awardee worked with humility and purpose, equipping her clients with essential legal compliance, regulatory, and financial literacy tools, demonstrating the values of community empowerment. For her high quality and compassionate work, we award the Susan Jones Memorial Social Entrepreneur and Community Empowerment Award to Pooja Samant. I now welcome Matt Nosenchuk, Lerner Family Associate Dean for Public Interest and Public Service Law, to present our first award in the Distinguished Accomplishment category.
Thank you, Dean Caesar. The first award is the Justice Thurgood Marshall Award, which is presented to a graduating Juris Doctor or Master of Laws student who has exhibited outstanding performance in and dedication to the field of civil rights and civil liberties. This year, there are 2 winners. The first winner has advanced civil rights and civil liberties through innovative approaches. As a student attorney in the Jacob Burns Access to Justice Clinic's Prisoner Civil Rights Division, she worked directly with incarcerated individuals advocating in tort and constitutional claims involving abuse, excessive force, and denial of medical care, including assisting with a case that went to a full jury trial in Abingdon, Virginia. She also participated in the Douglas Project DC jail visit with Young Men Emerging and served on the Clinic Student Advisory Council, helping support outreach and student advocacy. She became the first Black student published in the GW Law, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties Brief, where her article examined the financial barriers facing Black students amid weakened legal protections. Please join me in congratulating Star Johnson. The second winner exemplifies the many ways GW law students can protect civil liberties by advancing government accountability. Through the GW Public Justice Advocacy Clinic and his externship with Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, he has focused on transparency litigation involving the Freedom of Information Act, the Privacy Act, and related statutes. Over nearly 500 hours of service, he has drafted FOIA requests on behalf of nonprofits serving underrepresented families, co-authored a motion for summary judgment seeking police records to support an innocence claim, and helped secure the release of hundreds of documents concerning military housing conditions for an investigative journalist. Please join me in congratulating Stephen Rutkowski. Finally, the Michael Dillon Cooley Memorial Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who most successfully maintained his or her compassion, vitality, and humanity during law school. The award is highly coveted because the recipient is selected by a vote of the graduating class. Please congratulate the recipient of the Michael Dillon Cooley Award, Daniel Hopkins. I now welcome to the podium Professor Amanda Compton, Director of the Bar Success Office, to continue the award presentation.
The National Association of Women's Lawyer Award is presented to a student who contributes to the advancement of women in society, promotes issues and concerns of women in the legal profession, exhibits motivation, tenacity, and enthusiasm, demonstrates academic achievement, and who has earned the respect of the law faculty and administration. Our winner today embodies all of these attributes. Her nominator said this about her: she exemplifies tenacity, grace, and unwavering professional resolve. An exceptional scholar and advocate, she has demonstrated academic excellence, deep commitment to justice, and remarkable resilience in the face of profound personal adversity while continuing to lead and serve with integrity, empathy, and strength. She not only meets the ideas of leadership and service, she elevates them. Please join us in congratulating Olade Limaru. I now hand over the presentation to Leishan Sheikh, Associate Dean for National Security, Cybersecurity, and Foreign Relations Law.
The Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for Service to the Military. It recognizes one or more members of the graduating class who have undertaken extraordinary efforts to honor, assist, or otherwise support veterans and current members of the United States Armed Forces, and who possess the personal qualities that reflect the qualities of Robert Tebow, my dad, and Richard Skank, my father-in-law, both of whom were military veterans, including honor, integrity, leadership, self-sacrifice, selfless service, and courage. As part of this award, the recipient receives a flag that has been flown over the United States Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces Courthouse with an accompanying certificate, a highly coveted accompanying certificate signed by Judge Gregory E. Maggs. This year, there are two very worthy recipients who worked to create ways to give back to those who served. These two students worked as a team, each leading a student group that served veterans in the military. They organized career panels, scholarly discussions, pro bono projects, a military appellate court outreach argument, hosted a talk with the former Army Judge Advocate General for Veterans Day, and many, many other worthy events. They worked with law school professors and staff and other student groups, helping to promote services to active duty military, reservists, and veterans. They also kept veterans apprised of scholarships, benefits, and career opportunities. The first recipient of this award has been a key leader in service to the military and veterans and has welcomed veterans and military members to the law school. He will soon be commissioned as an Army Judge Advocate officer himself. While at GW Law, he has served as the president of the Military Law Society as a 2L and as a 3L, and as a 2L, he also served as the treasurer for the National Security Law Association. He has mentored numerous students and coordinated and promoted a wide variety of events, from hosting leaders from the military and defense community to providing outreach and networking opportunities. The first recipient of the Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for Service to the Military is Jackson Head. The second recipient of this award also has been a key student leader, serving as the president of the National Security Law Association, and as a 2L, serving as the treasurer of the Military Law Society. He's been involved in promoting service to the military and veterans throughout his time at GW Law, maintaining contact with veteran and military students and mentoring them as they negotiate their career paths in the legal field. He also established and promoted GW Law community celebrations for veterans and military service members. The second recipient of the Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for Service to the Military is Jacob Hexter. I now welcome to the podium my friend and colleague, Judge Gregory E. Max.
The Judge Roger W. Titus Award is awarded to a graduating student who seeks or obtains a federal district court clerkship and who embodies the qualities of academic excellence, personality, and humility that Judge Titus sought in his law clerks. I knew Judge Titus. He kept hiring GW students. He said he couldn't help it. He was a Georgetown graduate. This year's recipient exemplifies all of these qualities. The winner is an outstanding student scholar and leader who served as the editor-in-chief of the GW Law Review. She has demonstrated a commitment to helping others through her work as a teaching assistant in torts and criminal law. In 2027, she will clerk for the Honorable V.J. Shanker of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals. The winner of the Judge Roger W. Titus Award is Tegan Oliver. The Ladakis and Weston George Washington Law Review Best Note stipend is named in honor of Howard J. Rudge's GW Law professors Gust A. Ladakis and Glenn E. Weston. Each year, one student from the George Washington Law Review is chosen to receive the Ladakis and Weston George Washington Law Review Best Note Award, established in 2015 to encourage student scholarship by rewarding the most innovative, creative, and thoughtful student note. The winner of this award wrote, "Holding Law Enforcement Accountable, Section 1983 and the Practice of Special Deputation," and will be published in Volume 94 of the GW Law Review. The note challenges the prevailing view that these deputized officers do not act under color of state law, a determination that has often shielded them from civil liability under Section 1983 and left victims of constitutional violations without a remedy. Please congratulate Alexa Vocatura. I will now invite Rosa Solario, the Burnett Family Associate Dean and Distinguished Professorial Lecturer in International and Comparative Law and Policy, to the podium to continue our awards presentation.
Our next award this afternoon, the Thelma Weaver Memorial Award, is presented to the foreign graduate student who, in the judgment of the Dean and the International Graduate Studies Committee, contributed most to the intellectual and professional life of the law school, its students, and faculty. This year, there are two winners. Both are superbly intelligent, charismatic, creative, and passionate. They are stars and have made great contributions to our international and graduate programs at GW Law School. They have greatly influenced each of us in a unique way. We all very much look forward to seeing all that they will accomplish in the future, which will be tremendous. The first recipient of this year's Weaver Award is Flatra Hassimi. The second recipient of this year's Weaver Award is Julia Quintão Frade. I'm now pleased to hand the celebration over to Robin Juni, Professor of Fundamentals of Lawyering, to begin the presentation of awards for excellence in a general field of study.
Good afternoon. It's my privilege to begin this set of awards, which are for excellence in various fields of law. The first one is the Ogden W. Fields Award, given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated the highest proficiency in labor law. The winner is one of my very own Fundamentals of Lawyering 1Ls, Minlu Lee. Our second award is the Lawrence Seibel Memorial Award in Labor and Employment Law, which is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated excellence in the labor and employment law field. Our winner of that award is Joanna Slaughter. I am now pleased to hand the presentation over to Assistant Dean for Business and Finance Law, Michael Rand.
The Richard L. T-Burke Award is presented to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who demonstrates the highest overall proficiency in areas of securities law. The winner is Colin Garber. Colin could not be here today, but we'll make sure that he receives his award. The Joel B. Rosenthal Commercial Law Award. So our next award, it's presented to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated excellence in the area of commercial law. The winner is William Miller. Our next presenter is Associate Dean for Intellectual Property Law, John Whalen.
Thank you, Michael. Our next award is given to a member of the graduating JD class who exhibits excellence in the area of patent law. It is awarded in the memory of Chris Bartok, who tragically passed away while a student here at GW. It was Chris's great desire to study patent law, and it is now the wish of his family that his memory live on in the accomplishments of students highly skilled in this area. The winner is Rebecca Richardson. Next is the Finnegan Prize. It's sponsored by the law firm of Finnegan Henderson, which has long been a leader in IP law and is a good friend to GW Law School. These prizes are given to the JD or LLM student who produce the best published articles in the area of intellectual property or technology law. We have two winners to recognize today. We first recognize the student who wrote Patent Agent Client Privilege Beyond Borders, earning the third place in the 2025 competition. Please congratulate Rebecca Richardson. Now we recognize the student who wrote the article, Moving the Goalpost, The Dangers of the Federal Circuit's Flawed Use of Issue Preclusion. Tying for first place, please congratulate Eric Frank. Our final IP award this afternoon is the Rosenberg Prize. It is our highest intellectual property award and is presented to the member of the JD class who has demonstrated the highest overall excellence in intellectual property law. Our winner is Rachel Lobel. It is now my pleasure to introduce Carolyn Seacutt, the Oswald Semester Kollock Dean's Research Professor of Law, to the stage for the next two awards.
Thank you, John. The Charles and Catherine Miller Environmental Law Award is presented to the member of the graduating class who has demonstrated excellence in the field of environmental law. The award is named in honor of retired Dean Lee Paddock's grandparents who lived on a centennial farm in Lake Michigan, and it is the place where he first developed his interest in the environment. The Environmental and Energy Law faculty is excited to honor Emmy Lighthouse. Each spring, GW Law presents the Jamie Grotsky Prize for Environmental Law Scholarship for the best paper written by a JD, LLM, or SJD student in the field of environmental law. The prize commemorates the innovative research of Professor Jamie Grotsky, who passed away in 2010 and is profoundly missed. The winning paper recommended adoption of a cap-and-trade system for maritime emissions. It was appropriately titled Charting a Course for Maritime Cap-and-Trade Emission System in the United States. The Environmental and Energy Law faculty has selected graduating student David Board. Now please welcome Jessica Tillipman, Associate Dean for Government Procurement Law Studies and Government Contracts Advisory Council Professorial Lecturer in Government Contracts Law, Practice and Policy, to present the next two awards.
Okay, then. Thank you. And first, I am pleased to announce the Henry R. Berger Award. The Henry R. Berger Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated excellence in the area of tort law. The winning student is Rachel Pepper. Next is the Patricia A. Tobin Government Procurement Law Award. The Patty Tobin Award is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor or Master of Laws class who demonstrates excellence in the area of government procurement law. And may I give a particular shout out to this year's awardee who hosted and was instrumental in a series that we hosted across multiple cities in Europe. So she had to travel to Europe, multiple cities, about innovation and procurement. So congratulations to this year's winner, Cheryl Blake. It is now my pleasure to introduce Professor Mary Rose Papandrea, the Birchfield Professor of First Amendment and Free Speech Law.
Our next award, the Jenny Hassler Walburn Award, is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated the highest level of excellence in the area of civil procedure. Procedure is power, by the way. Please congratulate Benjamin Heidloff. The Imogen Williford Award is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who demonstrates excellence in the area of constitutional law. Our winner is Daniel Gulata. I am pleased to introduce David Johnson, Assistant Dean for Advocacy Programs and Professorial Lecturer in Law, to continue our awards presentation.
I'm here to present the awards for excellence in oral advocacy. The first of these awards is the Jacob Burns Award. The Jacob Burns Award is given to the members of the winning team of the Van Vleck Moot Court competition. Van Vleck is our premier in-house moot court competition. Students of two argued through 2 preliminary rounds and 4 advancement rounds to win this competition. But if that were not enough, the final round was held before almost 1,200 people, not 2,000, in Lisner Auditorium, and the final bench included 3 sitting federal judges, one of which was the Chief Justice of the United States. So while all these awards today are wonderful and every parent should be proud, no one else can say that their award was selected by the Chief Justice of the United States. Out of 124 competitors in 6 rounds of the competition, the Chief Justice decided the winners are Amanda Hitchens and Braylon Parkman. The second award for oral advocacy is the Judge Albert H. Grenadier Award. This award is presented to the members of the graduating Juris Doctor class who represented GW at the Jessup International Moot Court Competition. This is the largest moot court competition in the world. From the Jessup competition in 2025, we recognize that the team was coached by adjunct professor Leah Calabro, who is counsel for the Human Rights Violator Law Division at the Department of Homeland Security. Following the preliminary rounds of the competition in Atlanta, The GW team was ranked number 9 overall after winning every single one of their 4 rounds. Ultimately, they reached the top 32 teams in North America. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me congratulating Matt Brajuca, Molly Cobb, Amelia Tapia, and Reem Turk. The next award for oral advocacy is the Pamela Spinogle International Commercial Arbitration Award. This award is generously sponsored by Professor Andy Spinogle and is presented to the team of students that represented GW at the Wilhelm Wiss International Commercial Arbitration Competition. This is the only international competition in which GW participates. This year's team traveled to Hong Kong to compete in the 23rd annual Wiss East Moot. This year, there was a record-breaking 176 teams from around the world competing in the competition, and our team truly excelled. They advanced to the round of 32, and they were one of only 3 American teams to do so, ultimately placing number 26th overall in the world. The team was coached by adjunct professors Gabriel Gates and Jill Warnock of the International Arbitration Section of Covington and Burling. This year marked the most successful finish for a Covington coach team in the history of the competition. Please join me in congratulating the following 4 students: Camille Burton, Bridget Gidlow, Kobe Lockett, and Cheyenne Sharman. Please come down. The next award for oral advocacy is the Rothwell Fig Ernst and Manbeck Award. We have 2 categories of recipients that we're going to present. One team won it as 2 Ls, and one team just won it as 3 Ls. The Rothwell Fig Ernst and Manbeck Award is sponsored by the Rothwell Fig law firm to recognize the winning team of the on-campus Rothwell Intellectual Property Moot Court competition. This team then moves on to represent GW at the National Giles Rich competition, which, again, the overused word, is the most prestigious IP moot court competition in the world. Today, we recognize 2 distinct groups of winners. Our first pair won the Rothwell competition as 2L students and are being honored today as they graduate. We held onto their check, and it did not earn interest over the past year. Last year, coached by adjunct professor Matt Dowd, this team reached the finals of the Southeastern Regional in Atlanta, finishing 2nd and were awarded Best Brief. As a result, they advanced to the national rounds as one of the 10 best teams in the country to argue before the federal circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me congratulating John Fritzy and Shane Scott. John could not be here today, but Shane is here to accept for both of them. Our second winners are the most recent Wathwell champions. While we wish they had not waited until their third year, their final semester to compete, because we are sure they would have gone on to the national competition and done very well, they waited until their last semester, but we still want to recognize their achievement today. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Wade Marshall and Anish Sood. The final award for oral advocacy is the Ethan Lucarelli Moot Court Award. This is only the second time that this award is being presented. Ethan was a proud alum of this law school. He passed away very unexpectedly 2 years ago. I have an awful lot of wonderful attorneys in this town that coach our teams, but none were better than Ethan. And it really touched me that when Ethan passed away, his friends and family and the dean, matching the gift, wanted to create this award in Ethan's honor. This is also a nice award for me to present, in that it's the only award that we're announcing today in oral advocacy that the winners didn't know they were already winning. This is a surprise. This is presented to the members of the graduating class who have demonstrated sustained excellence across multiple levels of moot court competitions throughout their law school careers. During their second year as 2Ls, they reached the finals, finishing second in the DC Cup Moot Court competition held at the DC Court of Appeals. Building on that success as 3Ls, they traveled to San Francisco for the University of California Law San Francisco Constitutional Law Invitational. There, they also finished second, and they won the award for Best Brief. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the two finest moot court students in the graduating class. We wanted to pick one winner, but they did everything together. Ella Hillier and Alone Mengistu. And yes, Ethan's family did want crystal gavels. It is now my pleasure to welcome Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Lori Cohen, to the podium for the presentation of the final awards for excellence in a general field of study.
Thank you, Dean Johnson. This category is the awards for overall academic excellence. The Phi Delta Delta Award is presented to the female student who attained the single highest cumulative average in the first semester of law school. With a 4.18 GPA in her first semester of law school, the winning student is Rachel Pepper. Actually, Rachel, you may want to hang closer here for a moment. The next award is the Kappa Beta Pi Award, and it's presented to the women in the full-time and part-time divisions who attained the highest cumulative average in the first year of legal study. In the day division, our winner is Rachel Pepper. In the evening division, the student with the highest GPA in the first year of law school is Rebecca Richardson. The next two awards are endowed in the name of John Ordronaux, both recognizing exceptional performance during a single year of law school. The first Ordronaux Award recognizes a member of this Juris Doctor class who attained the highest cumulative average in the first year full-time course of study. With a first-year GPA of 4.15, our winner is Rachel Pepper. The second Ordronaux Award recognizes the highest cumulative average in the second year full-time course of study. With a second year GPA of 4.21, our winner is Mitchell Davenport.
All right, I'm thinking if Rachel and Mitchell had been in my study group, I would have done better in law school. So as we conclude the award celebration, I just want to take a moment to thank some of the folks who made this possible. So it might feel like it was a million days ago, but some of y'all were just taking final exams a little over 10 days ago. And so I'd like to thank our records office that worked tirelessly to, yes, to get all of the grades entered so we could get you all cleared for graduation. And if you haven't heard from me, you are graduating, so there you go. But if you have. I'd also like to thank my office, particularly Andra Chernak, Io Fasciola, and Alex Benitos, and then a special shout out to Andrew Relin and Dan Prestwich, who have really hustled to make this day possible. So sometimes it can feel somewhat trite, but I love the phrase that it takes a village to raise a child. And when I think about what it takes to get someone through law school, it's a village, a state, a city, a country, a lot of things. And I just want to give the opportunity for you all, for the graduates, to thank the members of your villages who are here. Those could be your family, your friends, pets, supporters, all of those folks. I'd like all of us to thank them for the work that they did to get you all through. And turning around, for family, friends, probably not pets. If you could join me in congratulating one last time our award recipients and graduates for all of the amazing work that they've done. Love graduation. So one logistical thing, for those of you who received plaques or awards, we thought it'd be prettier to have them out of the boxes for your photos, but we've got the boxes outside, so when you leave, you can get the boxes so you don't break them or anything like that. Just want to let you know that. And then finally, Dean Matthews is going to lead our recessional, followed by the faculty and award winners, and then our family and friends and villagers. And we thank you all for coming and can't wait to see you tomorrow at the diploma ceremony.